Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 12 o'clock on a Sunday, which means it's time for a Q&A. This is where I take all the questions that you've asked over the course of the week and I try to answer them to the best of my ability. Now, first of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you for coming and watching this Q&A. And if you've watched anything this week on the channel, I appreciate it. Now, I don't do any research into these questions, so you get my raw, unfiltered opinion. If I think a question is deserving of a longer answer, I'll make a video about it at some point in the future. And you want to get your questions sent in to me by about Tuesday or Wednesday, because I typically film this on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. With that being said, we're going to get straight into it now. There seems to be a lot of questions. So without further ado, let's get into this week's Q&A. The first question comes from Yinhao Magic, who says, you might be late this week. Well, you're not, my friend. Do you have any ESP card routines to recommend and the learning resource? Yeah. So first of all, you want to check out some of the stuff by Michael Murray. Michael Murray was very, very instrumental in a lot of the early ESP stuff that came out. So if you go to Mind Effects, look up anything with Michael Murray when it comes to ESP symbols. He's definitely a person that you should speak to, and you should study from. The Eclipse ESP cards that were put out for the 1914, and it had D. Christopher. It was a D. Christopher trick. They've got some wonderful routines built into them, and they're the easiest marked ESP cards to read, but they're great. So definitely check out Eclipse. The ESP cards are good, but the content, the routine that comes with it is really good as well. Also, Alakazam put out something a couple of years ago. Nicholas Mavresis. I'm sure it was. Let's have a look. Xenocards. There you go. Xenocards. They put out a few different Xenocards things. Here we go. Let's see what we've got here. So there's a couple of things that Alakazam put out by Nicholas Mavresis. The first is Xenomatch Poker Size by Nicholas Mavresis. They also have Parlour Size as well. Really, really, really good. Really good. Like the routine there is fantastic and the cards look amazing. They also brought out aged ESP cards, both in poker and Parlour Size. And with each deck, you receive a special link so you can access well over 1 hour video tutorial. This was also, there you go. So the gorgeous age looking ESP deck is based on a deck we created for Xenomatch by Nicholas Mavresis. So this came after Xenomatch. The decks are made blah, 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 blah. It's available in 2 sizes, Poker and Pro, and there's a really great tutorial with it. You've got like an hour tutorial with this thing, and the cards look amazing, but also the tutorial had some amazing routines on that I hadn't seen before. Now, as well as that, they then brought out a Gaft pack as well, an ESP aged Gaft pack. Inside the Gaft pack, you add it to the aged ESP deck, and you get 5 red blue double backers, 5 same double facers, 5 standard double facers, 4 red backed addition symbols to perform Nardi's brainwave, 5 red backed symbols for your matchup effects, 5 blue backed replacement symbols for Xenomatch, a bunch of other stuff as well. So that's really good. So you've got the aged ESP cards from Alakazam, the Gaff deck that's kind of to do with that came from Alakazam, the original Xenomatch that came from Alakazam. All of that's really good. Now, there was another ESP thing that Alakazam brought out at Blackpool, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was very good. There you go. Yeah, the test. There you go. The ESP trick called the test. This is a standalone trick. I did a review on it. It's a standalone trick. But it's very, 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 very clever. The method, when Pete showed me this, he fooled me with it completely. So there's a bunch of Alakazam stuff. The 1914 Eclipse cards are great. I've covered a bunch of stuff on Cube 52. So on my Cube 52 project, I pointed out that because it's basically solid color cards, they can be used for ESP matchup style routines, and I did go through an awful lot of those. So any of those will work for you. Yeah, try some of those, and There's a lot more out there. I mean, I could go really deep. Maybe I'll do a video on this in the future, but those sources are some of the good sources to start with. Okay, so the next question is Edward Rena, who says, "Hi Craig, our kids, Ethan 16 and Haley 14, earned the Vanishing Ink scholarship to the session and Magi Fest. That's amazing. We'd love to meet you." Well, I'm probably not going to be at Magi Fest, but me and Ryland will definitely be at the session. Thea probably will be as well. Any suggestions on must-see in London, as we're staying an extra day after the session? Well, it depends if you want to must-see magic or must-see not magic. If you're in London for any length of time and you want to see magic, go to the Magic Circle website. There's shows on all the time. The Magic Circle is definitely a place that you want to go and see. And there's shows on all of the time. There's lots of magic shows on. Oliver Tabor has a brilliant West End magic show that's on kind of regularly throughout the year, as well as I think Dynamo has got a close-up show that's running at the moment as well as the Magician's Table. A lot of people are raving in the Magician's Table. There's a lot of places to go and see magic there's a lot of places to go and see magic basically in London. You might want to join the YMC. I don't know when the YMC meetings are, but if you want your kids to join the YMC, they can join from anywhere in the world. The YMC is the youth initiative to the Magic Circle. You can join the set. They have meetings every month, and you can access the meetings via Zoom. But it means that if you're around London when there was a meeting on, they could come to the Magic Circle. And those sessions are really great. But if you're just wanting to see sightsee stuff, definitely do Covent Garden. Go and look at Magician's Corner. But Covent Garden is a great place to go and see. Battersea Power Station, if you like big moles. They turned a power station into a mole, which is kind of cool. The open top buses are great because you can kind of hop on and off throughout the day. There's a really nice kind of cable car thing that goes over the Thames. That's a fun thing to do. My kids love that when we took them on that. So anything like that will work really well. But yeah, I'm definitely at the session, so hopefully I'll see you there. Okay, so Twisted Minds Magic said it'd be an absolute pleasure to do an interview with you in the near future. Amazing. I will reach out to you. Like I said, guys, if you haven't already done this, go check out Twisted Minds Magic. They're doing really good things at the moment, and I can highly recommend their product line. Okay, so DMB Magician says, "Hi Craig, hey, how you doing? I hope you and the family are well." Very well, thank you very much. "I'm new to magic in the last 6 months." Welcome to magic. "You signed my Savant deck at the House of Secrets." I remember, yes, hello. I remember meeting you and your partner. I hope you're enjoying the Savant deck. My question is, what should I focus on as a new magician? I keep finding new things that pique my interest, and I jump to that, and I struggle to focus on practicing one thing. How would you suggest I go about this? I've been practicing the double lift and the classic pass religiously daily. Should I set out a long-term plan? Thanks for all the work you put into this channel and getting new content out daily. It's no small task, so thank you for that." You're more than welcome, man. You're more than welcome. Look, here's the thing. This is something that happens when people get into magic. I was speaking to somebody about this yesterday, actually, on a Zoom call. But here's the thing. A lot of people... Magic has a big revolving door. In terms of people come and they leave and they come and they leave. A lot of hobbies, people will stay there forever, but a lot of people in magic drop out. And I think the reason is it's almost like overexposure. So when you first get into magic, I kind of think of it like that scene from the first Harry Potter movie, when Harry enters Diagon Alley for the first time through the Leaky Cauldron, and he just sees this entire other world that he wasn't aware of. And like, oh my God, what am I seeing? Why am I not being aware of this? Well, it's the same thing with magic. Nobody, unless you get into magic, realizes just how big it is, really, with conventions and magic shops and everything that goes on. People don't realize, and there's new tricks coming out all the time. So when you first get into magic and you're bombarded by trailers, and you will be, because you'll sign up for a mailing list on a magic shop, and they'll be emailing you all the time, and the more mailing lists you sign up for, the more emails you're going to get, and everything looks amazing, and you go, oh my God, I need that, I need that, I need that, I need that. Because when you're new into magic, you think you need everything. You want it, you become you can become a secret collector. And you want to collect secrets because you want to know as much about magic as you can. You want to understand this hobby. You've probably found it because you've got a passion for performing, and you want to, you want to learn more so you can perform more, right? So what ends up happening is you buy loads and loads of stuff. And the reason that magic is a revolving door is because people can burn out very quickly. And that's what happens. It's that old expression, isn't it? The brightest light burns out quickest. I see people all the time asking this same question as you, because they've bought so much stuff and they go into this repetitive cycle of buy something, watch the tutorial, put it to one side, buy something, watch the tutorial, put it to one side, buy something, because they haven't got time to learn something because they're buying the next thing, and definitely not time to perform it. And then you see people that will say, I think I'm falling out of love with magic. I don't have time to practice these days. I don't feel I don't have the desire to practice. I'm just kind of switched off to the whole thing. What should I do? And normally the reason that's happened is because you've burnt out on it. If you do, there is you can get too much of a good thing. And that's why it's a revolving door. That's why people come and they go, and people that come and they go. And a lot of people will stick around. I'm not saying that people don't stick around. They do, absolutely. But that's not always the case. So with that in mind, my advice to you would be, look, you've been practicing the double lift and the classic pass religiously. Great. Look, there's a million people that are very, very experienced, that have been doing this for years, that will never do a classic pass. Now, if you want to learn a classic pass, that's fine, but it depends on what you want out of magic. Do you want to perform, or do you want to basically just have it as a hobby? Because if you want to perform, I would suggest to you, there's a million things that you could be doing before learning the classic pass, because there is absolutely no reason to learn a classic pass and do it. Now, if you want to do it because you want to become a technician, you want to be the best sleight of hand artist in the world, that's fine. That's great. Learn a classic pass. But yeah, what do you use a classic pass for? To make a card disappear and go in the middle of the deck? There's other ways you can do that. To control a card? There's other ways you can do that, right? And even if there is a trick out there that exclusively requires the classic pass, well, just do another trick, right? The classic pass is not really needed. But what is needed, and what a lot of hobbyists and social performers forget about when they first get into magic, is actually learning to perform, learning to actually do the trick. So what you're doing is you're saying, I've been practicing the double lift and the classic pass religiously. I know what you're doing. You're sitting there throughout the day and you're just doing the classic pass over and over and over again. How much time are you thinking about that trick that you bought? You keep finding new things that pique your interest, and you struggle on practicing it, because that requires effort, right? But you then jump to, I've been practicing the double lift and the classic pass. Yeah, which is fine if that's what you want to do. But if you're struggling to keep practicing on that one thing, that's what you need to do. You need to pick one of these tricks that you've bought and go, right, okay, I'm going to learn this. And your practice session shouldn't just be doing the classic pass. It should be, right, okay, I'm going to learn how to do this, right? Take The Button, for example, by Chris James. I mentioned that because it's the new thing that everyone's talking about, right? So, right, pick one of the routines off there. The card under button, for example. Right, okay, I'm going to learn that. What do I need to do? Right, okay, I need to learn about the button. Done. Right, now I need to watch the routine. Now I need to practice it. Take it one phase at a time. Okay, and you get to a point where you've learned this trick. Now, when you've learned the trick, go out and perform it to somebody. Or go out and film a video of yourself doing it and then send it to friends and family. My friend David Murphy, he has a list of people, and every Saturday morning he posts a performance video to them and he gets feedback from them, just lay friends, and they look forward to those videos being sent out. So make a video, film it a couple of times, make it look good, and then send it out to some lay people, some friends of yours, and then maybe, find someone that you can perform a trick to, and another trick to, and another trick to. Master the trick. When you talk about practicing, don't just practice the moves. Don't just sit there and practice the moves. Actually practice the routines. Actually take the tricks that you've bought and learn them and go out and perform them. Because here's the thing, I don't know how much you've gone out and performed yet, but when you go out and perform, there's a million things you need to think of beyond how invisible your classic pass is. You need to think about your presentation. You need to think about your angles. You need to think about, pocket management. There's a million different things you need to think about. So, it depends. If you want to be a performer, start thinking about that stuff now. But kind of condition yourself, right? Say, right, I've bought this trick. I've watched the video. Sometimes there's tricks that you buy that just, they're not going to be for you. Oh, well, put it in the bottom drawer. That's what we all do. But if you see a trick that you buy and you like it and you think, yeah, you know what, I could definitely get something out of this, do it. Go and perform it. Don't perform it to somebody. And then learn it and get it down and then do it again and again and again, because that's going to revitalize your interest in magic, you know. And that's not, you don't want to be frustrated that you're buying all of this stuff and not doing anything with it. So actually go out and, you know, condition yourself to actually go out and learn these tricks and get it to a point where you can perform it. And remember, have fun with it. It's a hobby. Don't get frustrated. It's a hobby. It's a really fun hobby. Okay, Black and Dark Angel says, Anthony Mativa, the guy is one of the best memory teachers. He's a ton of free videos on YouTube and has a lot of books and programs. Never heard of him, or if I have, I've forgotten. But there you go, that's great. So for people that were asking about memory work from last week, Anthony Mativa, spelled Metivier, YouTube, that guy, apparently he's got a ton of free videos. So thank you so much for letting us know. Okay, so the next question is from Sean Coleman, who says, thanks for responding to my question, and you've hit the nail on the head with the core root of fear of failure to me. So I'll be taking your advice and starting simple somewhere quiet, and I'm sure I'll be away because of the feeling with my friends and family are entertained is amazing. Another great Q&A video again. Thanks very much. You're more than welcome. Yeah, look, that's the thing. Just go out there and just go out and perform a trick. Just go out and perform a trick. Make it as simple as you can. When you've gone and done one trick, then do a second, then do a third, then do a fourth, then do a fifth. And before you know it, you're going to have an act. But like I said to the other guy, have fun with it. Okay, Bernard, my friend Bernard says, the gimmick deck of David Regal's is called Deep Guilt Aces. Thank you, Bernard. Your knowledge, as normal, is encyclopedic. There you go. If you're looking for a good ace-cutting routine, Deep Guilt Aces by David Regal. Okay, the next question is from John Castro, who says, hi, Craig. Congratulations on the amazing content you share here on YouTube. You're more than welcome. It's been incredibly valuable for my career. I'd love to know if you have any suggestions for a comedy routine that combines escapology, from thumb cuffs to other effects like mentalism or transpositions. Thanks so much for your help. Well, my favorite routine of all time, and one that I've literally traveled the world doing, is the suit jacket escape by Anthony Linden. I proper love the suit jacket escape. I've been doing it for about 15 years. I do it all of the time. I love that it fits into a briefcase. It packs small, it plays big. It's amazing. I love that trick. And I do it all of the time. I started doing it probably about 20 years ago now, and I still do it to this day. And I proper love it. I've got a cabaret show Saturday night. 45-minute cabaret show for 50 people at a wedding, and I'll be doing, the second trick will be the suit jacket escape. That's how much I love that trick. So yeah, in fact, I'll play a video for you in case you haven't seen it. You can get it from, I got it from Bill Abbott. I don't think he sells it anymore, but you can contact Anthony Linden, and I think you can get it directly from him. He's on Facebook. He's got a website. I've interviewed him on Magic TV, but I'll play a video of that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to talk about anything else. I mean, yeah, look, there's other escapology tricks. You could do, you know, the chain breaker by Lysander can be played up to be really funny. There's a really nice thumb cuff routine by, oh, what's the guy's name that was in The Illusionists? He was in Carnival of Wonders as well. Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. Why can I not remember his name? Jeff Hobson. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot Jeff Hobson's name. So Jeff Hobson on his website has an amazing routine with like an escapology thing where you end up getting caught up in the spectator and your arms are linked and stuff. He sells that on his website. That's really funny. There's another routine I used to do many years ago where I had a bag and I had someone pick a card, and I had two people on either side and they were holding onto the bags, and I was handcuffed and I was going into the bag to get out to find the card, handcuffed, and I kept bringing my hand out and putting it in. You know, there's loads of stuff like that. But honestly, the suit jacket escape, if you want a comedy escapology routine, in all honesty, the suit jacket escape is the way to go. I'm going to play that video for you now. This is the suit jacket escape.
How I'm going to do it is do another classic of magic. You might have heard of somebody called Harry Houdini. You heard of Harry Houdini? Yeah, he's dead now, but he was known as the King of Cuffs. He was the greatest escapologist of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, he was in peak physical condition. He could dislocate his shoulder, his elbow. He could escape from any restraint. He was amazing. Now, guys, I'm going to try and replicate something of his. I'm not in peak physical condition. I can't dislocate my elbow or my shoulder. I can't escape from a straitjacket. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for your entertainment pleasure, I'm going to escape from my own suit jacket. No, you don't understand. I'm going to escape from my own suit jacket. Yeah, thanks for that. Now, it doesn't sound too impressive, thank you, Anna. It doesn't sound too impressive. It becomes more impressive when you realise that I'm going to do it with my hands handcuffed or shackled behind my back. Russell has a set of handcuffs. He's going to handcuff me. Then I need 2 people to come up and help me. I need 2 people who've got some experience with handcuffs. Maybe they've been in them. Maybe they've used them. Maybe they've got them in their bedside table. I don't know. Also, I don't need to know. But I need 2 people to come up and help me that have got some experience with handcuffs. Can I have some music, please? Anna, Russell, go and get me 2 volunteers.
Who look like they might have had some experience with handcuffs. You, sir, you can help. What's your name? Your name? You got a bad leg, have you? Has he got a bad leg? He has. Okay, we'll take you instead. What's your name, sir? You don't do things like that. Okay, let's see what we can find. You're pointing at this and maybe not. I know. But you can help me, sir, can you not? Yes, and you can join him as well, because you look as though smoke. There you go. Fantastic. Coming up for me, gentlemen, that'd be wonderful. Can you stand that side of me, please, sir? Wonderful. And if you could stand right side for me, that's fantastic. And what's your name, sir? This is Jeff, everybody. And where are you from, Jeff? Jeff's from Henley and Arden. Apparently not many other people are, but there you go. And what's your name, sir? This is Mark, everybody! You're less popular than Jeff. Where are you from, Mark? He's from Hatton! Yeah, okay, fair enough. Let me ask you a question. Bearing in mind you're from Henley and Arden, have you had any experience with handcuffs? Plenty, I thought so. Look, in your expert opinion, have a look at these and check them out and make sure they're all solid, make sure everything's okay, yeah? Is that good? Fantastic. Better than yours. You can borrow them afterwards. And have you had any experience with handcuffs, sir? None whatsoever, okay. He doesn't seem to believe me there. Look, have a look at these, check them out, make sure they're all good. Is everything okay? That's fantastic. Can you stand that side for me, sir? And if you can stand that side, that'd be wonderful. Now, on the floor here, we have something called the curtain of death. 2 white pieces of rope there and there. In a minute, you're going to grab the white rope and lift the curtain up. And whilst inside the curtain, I'm going to escape from my own suit jacket. What was your name again, sir? Mark. Before I do this, Mark, stick out your first finger, your pointing finger, stick it out in front of you. Very good. Put it on the centre of my glasses and push upwards. Cheers, mate. Thanks. Lovely. We're good. Now, grab the rope for me if you can, guys. That's very good. And lift it up. Lift it up. Very good. Oh, you're all tangled up. There we go. Wow, what are you doing? No, it's called a piece of rope, sir. It's right there. That's what you hold. That's wonderful. Fantastic. There we go. I know we get there. So it was to about waist height, guys. I'm not Simon Cowell. That's a little bit higher. Wonderful. A little bit lower still. That's more nipple height. Wonderful. So it's Mark and Jeff. Is that right? Jeff, Mark. Wonderful. Guys, there's 2 instructions to follow. The first instruction is raise the curtain of death. Now, when I say that, bring your hands high up in the air so the audience can't see me, because sneaky stuff is happening behind this curtain. You know what I'm talking about, right, Jeff? Good. Raise the curtain of death. Take your time. There you go. You're sagging in the middle there, Jeff. Take 1 step backwards. Wonderful. Oh, no, it's just that he's a bit shorter than you. It's okay, don't worry about it. Now, the second instruction is lower the curtain of death. When I say that, drop your hands to your sides, but continue to hold on to the curtain. Lower the curtain of death. Wonderful. The final instruction is, let go of the rope. If that's happened, something gone wrong, I need you to let go immediately. Do you understand? Fantastic. Let me ask you a question. Jeff, are you ready? I'm ready. Come on, Jeff. If you get excited, everyone else will get excited. Jeff, are you ready? I'm ready. And also a little bit scary. Mark, are you ready? Come on, Mark. I am ready. You're ready. You're ready. I can tell. Mark was born ready. Guys, are you ready? I'm going to escape from my own suit jacket, my hands cuffed behind my back with my own suit jacket. Raise the curtain of death all the way up in the air for me, please, guys. I'm going to do this in record time. Oh, I'm forgetting one thing. Lower the curtain. Sorry, I forgot one thing. I'm very sorry. I forgot one thing. We've got to warm up. Now, I've been told by Sue and Rick, if I bring anybody up to come up and help me and I don't warm them up, I'm going to be in trouble. So just drop it for a minute. We've got to warm up. Guys, what I want you to do is face that way, put your hands out like this, and just copy what I do. Every move I make, okay? Here we go. Peace out. Come on, everybody. You don't need the band, you just need us 3 doing half an hour of this. Yeah! You got into that just a little bit too much, didn't you? Okay, right, we're warmed up, we're ready, I'm going to do this. Guys, grab the rope, here we go. Watch this. Escaping from my own suit jacket. Raise the curtain of death. All the way up in the air, guys, all the way up in the air. I'm going to do this in record time, and everyone's going to go nuts, and I'm going to win this stupid competition, and you're going to realise
how important... Right, I've got it. Guys, I want to give you an update. Lower the curtain. Halfway. Come on, everybody. Halfway. What do you think of it so far? Fantastic. This is a man that knows talent. Wish you could talk to Simon Cowell. He hated it. What's your name? Well, I know your name. What did you think? I'm going confused. What did you think of it? Rubbish. 15 years of practice, no social life, sitting in my bedroom practicing this stuff, and you just sum it up by rubbish. Thank you. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. No, it's fine. He liked it. I don't really care what you think. Right, okay, here we go. I'm going to go the rest of the way. And then you'll love it. I'm going to get out the rest of the way. Here we go. Raise the curtain of death. All the way up in the air, guys. All the way up in the air. I'm going to do this in record time. Now, earlier on, I talked to you about Harry Houdini. And I told you he dislocates his shoulder. Do you remember that? Yeah. I can't do that. I'm dislocating something else. Yeah, that's not meant to happen. We got a problem. Don't worry. This is what's meant to happen. Oh, gee. Guys, I got a problem. Lower it for a sec. No, this isn't the bit where you clap, love. Just so you know. Still rubbish, innit? Yeah. Oh my God. Right, no, I can do this. I can do this. They're going to go mad. I'm going to do it right. I can do this. You believe me, don't you? Good, right, here we go. Better get a big round of applause after this, right? Not yet, I haven't done anything yet. Right, here we go. Raise the curtain of death, all the way up in the air. Please, all the way up in the air. One move is all it takes. No, drop it on the floor. Let go. Also, not the bit where you clap. And also, not appreciated having a camera pointed at me at the moment, love, to be perfectly honest, but... Actually, more to the point, what are you going to do with the picture? Of me like this? Look, YouTube, yeah. Look, right now, there's some people in the audience that might think these are tricky handcuffs. Just tell them that they're okay. Do me a favour, grab the lock. Grab the lock. That's the lock. Yes, very good. With an L. Is that okay? Good. How's it looking back there?
Nice, actually.
Very nice. You better believe it, buddy. It was Mark, right? Jeff. You're Jeff. I'm getting confused. Jeff, finger. Finger. Glasses. Where you from? Brighton? Finger. Glad you knew what I was talking about. That could have been very weird. Right, okay. I love my job. Right. Okay. Guys, I want you to grab the rope. We're going to try this one more time. And if we manage to get out of this, I'm going to give you both a big round of applause. One more time. Raise the curtain of death. All the way up in the air. I'm going to do it in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Give him a big, massive round of applause to Mark and Jeff. Come on, guys. Go nuts.
Okay, the next question is Just Hutchins, who says, "Hi Craig, I hear you make a killer bolognese, so do I. Do you add any controversial or special ingredients to make it taste so good?" No, I don't. I just make, well, I don't know. I'm not a great cook, but my mum taught me to make spaghetti bolognese, and her spaghetti bolognese was the best. So I just use the ingredients and the recipe that my mum taught me. I don't know if that is standard or not. I've never looked into it, but it's my, let's just say it's my mum's secret recipe with 7 herbs and spices. Okay, so the next question is from Devonshire Magician, who said, "What should I do if you get an inquiry from an agent and then a few hours later you get the exact same inquiry directly? What would you do in that situation? Would you tell the agent?" Absolutely, 100% I would. It depends on the relationship that you want with the agent. I've got an agent that books me all of the time, and they sent me an inquiry and I said I was available, and then a few hours later that same inquiry came to me direct because they Googled me from the agent's website. They liked the look of me, so they Googled me, they found my own website, they contacted me directly. And I contacted the agent and I said, "Just so you know, I've had this inquiry a few hours after you sent it to me. You know, I want to make you aware of that." And they were like, "Fantastic." And so when I then contacted the guy and I said, "The inquiry came from this agent, first of all, so you know, you're going to have to go through them." And that agent really, really appreciated it. And I get a lot of work from that agent. Now, could I have got away with it? Could I have booked it in myself? Probably. But the bottom line is they probably wouldn't have found me if it wasn't for that agent in the first place. And my relationship with them is more important than getting one extra gig and making a few extra quid on it. That's my relation, you know, how I've kind of got ahead to where I am in business is through relationship marketing, building up relationships with people and being the person that you can rely on and the person that you know that's going to give 100%. Now, there was a situation once where somebody inquired about our illusion show directly, and I booked them in, and then the following day there was an inquiry that came through for that same date for the illusion show, and but it came in afterwards, after I booked it in directly ourselves. So in that case, I told them, I was like, look, I've already booked this in, and they were like, yeah, you know, we had it a couple of days ago, we didn't send it over to you, and they were fine with that. But generally, as a rule, I will let the agent have it, because I get plenty of inquiries, and you know, I'd rather have a great relationship with an agent than, you know, like try and get a few extra quid. Okay, another question from Divish and Magician. Assuming a landing page is perfectly optimized with good keywords and good backlinks, good in-depth content, and all that is fine, how long will it generally take to rank up to show up on the second page? How long should I leave it after making it and wait to see the results before understanding if I have to re-optimize it or not? I'm guessing it'll take at least a month to show any sign of results. So should I wait a month before finding out if I've written and accomplished the rank correctly? You're talking about SEO. Divishan's talking about SEO here. And the thing with SEO is it's constant, it's ongoing. If you just do what you think you need to do and then leave it, you're not going to achieve anything. You've got to continue with it every single day, or as many days as possible. It's a long-term strategy. And what you're talking here about optimizing good backlinks, you know, good backlinks, you're talking about setting up a website and having good backlinks. A good link building strategy can take years, you know, years getting the right links to link through to particular pages on your website. That can take years to do. And you know, that you want to be constantly publishing content on your website as well, because that's going to, when Google's indexing everything, it's going to show them that you're constantly updating your website. So it's not just a dead site that never gets changed. Look, here's the thing, from an SEO point of view, the easiest way to do it is contact a company and have them do it for you. If you want to do it yourself, it's absolutely possible, but it's going to take time and effort, and it's going to need to take ongoing time and effort to make you rank where you want to rank. You can't just do it and then leave it for a month and see where you are. You know, I was speaking to a friend of mine who worked for a year really hard on his SEO and got up to a position where he was on page 1, and then he kind of took his foot off the gas a bit and like left it a little bit for a month or two, and then he dropped down to page 2 and page 3, and now is going through the process of getting himself back up to page 1 again. And that was just leaving the website for a couple of months, because here's the thing, if you don't work on it every single day, your competition will. You know, there's incredible magicians out there that spend a lot of time and effort on the SEO and wanting to rank as high as possible. So if you don't do it, somebody else will. Okay, so the next question is from Caleb D'Amico, who says, hi Craig, for an aspiring professional magician, what's the most useful thing that you can major for in college which would help you the most in running your own business? Okay, great question. I would say, I mean, I did a degree in business entrepreneurialism and marketing, and that was very, very useful, because business entrepreneurialism covers everything that you need to know as a business owner, because it was a degree literally in being an entrepreneur. But, you know, I mean, ultimately, the skills that you need as a magician outside of the magic side of things are stagecraft, understanding, you know, if you want to be a stage magician, you really need to understand everything to do with performing on a stage, including lighting, including sound, including teching the show, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of degrees you can do that are in stagecraft. You know, I was speaking to Alex Jessen, and he understands this side of things brilliantly, way more than I do. And Alex Jessen from Matrix Magic, he turned around to me and he said, you know what, I can speak the language of the sound guy, I can speak the language of the lighting guy. It means that I walk into a theatre and they will do exactly what I need them to do, because they understand that I understand what it is that they need to do, as opposed to just clod hopping in without a clue. So that side of things is important, but also digital marketing is important. The ability to edit photos and edit videos is important. You know, basic accounting skills. All of this is a very important skill to be able to do. But I think a lot of it is encapsulated in business. You know, business entrepreneurialism. You might want to consider a drama, acting. performing arts, improv, anything like that. All of those are really important skills to learn. Okay, Caleb D'Amico also says, did the bag Reborn mixed with Cupcake video ever come out? And if so, is it going to be? Yes, I had a very busy summer. And honestly, until you asked that question, I'd completely forgotten about it. I'll try and get onto that in the next couple of weeks. But yes, it's definitely coming. Okay, so the next question is from My Pet Creeper, who says, amazing, Craig. I welcome what you've suggested. I do have a question. I recently bought Nightshade, and I'm struggling to do the nesting move with the split half, sandwiching a real coin. Can you give me some tips on this move? Yeah, I haven't got any coins on me. I haven't got a Nightshade on me. But in essence, you're talking about the move where you've got two halves of a split coin with the regular coin in the middle, and you close your hand, and when you do, it nests that real coin into the middle of the split coins. I think that's what you mean. And if that's the case, what you want to do is get the positioning on the palm is really important. You want to have them positioned going that way. And as you close your hand, you want to push with your thumb on the outermost half, because that's going to allow it to rotate underneath and sandwich everything together. So it's all about rotating it around. Okay. If it's another move, then please let me know. It might be easier to do this over PM or something, because, you know, we don't want to expose the Nightshade coin set, but if that's not what you're looking for, let me know and we can organize a time to talk. Okay, so the next question is Comcure, who says, hi Craig, I'm looking for tricks that can be played as a game or a competition. For example, men versus women or just random teams. One trick I love is Movie Quiz by Jamie Williams. Great tutorial, by the way. Thank you. Which you obviously know can be performed like this. I love how tricks get people shouting out the answers against one another. Even something like TNT by Nicholas Lawrence could be performed like this. However, more in a one-on-one test of strength scenario. Obviously, the winner would be predetermined by the magician. I'm looking for both close-up and a table tricks. Any suggestions would be most welcome. Thank you as always. Well, I had this similar question to this the other day. Simon Says is a great idea. Simon Says by Simon Lipkin and Penguin Magic. Also, my new movie quiz that's come out recently is perfect. It is literally a quiz that you can have the spectators play against each other, but you can read their minds and you can know the answers of everything. Also, we talked last week about rock, paper, scissors. You could definitely incorporate rock, paper, scissors into this, because you could have two spectators play rock, paper, scissors against each other, and you can show that you can manipulate the outcome every single time. So that's also something that you could do. Anything like that works. You know, I've had so many questions about this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some sort of video. I'm going to do a video on the best movie quiz style tricks of all time. I think that would probably be a good way to do it. Jamie Dawes has a Cluedo inspired trick, which is very, very good, that he brought out through Alakazam. And he also had a routine that was based on the Funny Faces game. That's a really good one as well. That would work really well. So those are two more. You might want to speak to Jamie Dawes about that. Yeah, and there's tricks obviously with Scrabble. Alakazam just brought out a Scrabble trick. Magic Dream years ago had a Scrabble trick as well. So there's a load of stuff like that. You know, anything like that would probably be a good first step. Okay, so the next question is from Illusionist Ed Zeus, who says, hey, what are the ethics of performing illusions? I've only done a few and I feel like quite different from regular magic tricks. For example, if I'm doing a flying illusion, can I fly in a glass box? David Copperfield did that about 30 years ago, and I'd definitely make it different, but the main idea would still come from him. Another example is the flying jumping rope idea that the Xavier Mortimer does. If I don't use an actual jump rope and change the concept around it, but the inspiration is clearly there, is that considered fine? I think if it's inspired by somebody else's routine, you need to absolutely reach out and contact them. It depends on how similar it is to the original routine. So there are flying rigs that are available, you know, beyond David Copperfield's flying. You know, Thomas More has an incredible flying rig, iFlight or 360. And so there's a lot of people that will do flying in their act, and, you know, that's fine. But I think it really, you know, if it's in a glass box, and I think it would be, if somebody would look at it and go, oh, that looks a little bit like David Copperfield's flying, I would be contacting David Copperfield and asking for permission. Same with Xavier's trick. I think there's a lot of public domain illusions, but even then you need the original source. So I remember when I wanted Guy Barrett to build me a Wakeling, I didn't have the Wakeling book, and he went, well, I can build it for you, no problem, but you need to go and buy the Wakeling book first and show me proof that you've bought it, which makes absolute sense, and I never thought about that until that point. So, you know, you want to make sure that you are having illusions built that you have the rights to. There's certain illusions, for example, like suspended animation, only a couple of builders have the rights to do a suspended animation. Daniel Summers Compressed is another example of something that not many people have the rights to build. But there are a lot of public domain things as well. So, for example, I'm currently having built a head and body twister, which is pretty much public domain at this point. So it very much depends. But in terms of taking inspiration, if there's a routine out there and you've used it as inspiration and your routine looks very, very similar, I'd be contacting the original person. Really, the best way to do it is think about it in reverse. If you had a very unique illusion and somebody else went and did something very, very similar and just changed one aspect of it, would you be happy? And if you wouldn't, then, you know, that kind of gives you your answer. So hopefully that helps. Alejandro Romero says, hi Craig, thanks for another insightful Q&A. You're welcome. You were right when you said your friends will call you out whenever you perform magic to them. I did a coin production for my wife followed by a vanish. As soon as the vanish kicked in her head, she reached out and grabbed my dirty hand and turned my palm over, revealing the coin. How to prevent this from happening with friends and family? Must I always do complete vanishes instead? I think you need to routine the routine better. If you're just going to do a vanish and the coin vanishes, friends feel that they've got a boundary that they can cross because they know you really well, and they also know that you're not really magic, and so there has to be a solution to it. And certain people look at magic as a puzzle, especially somebody who knows you and knows that you're not really doing magic, right? So they're going to be more inclined to try and figure out how the trick works. And if it's just a vanish, they might go, hey, let me look at the other hand, because they're trying to figure out the trick. So the way to deal with that is to incorporate the vanish into a longer routine. Don't show people a trick or a move, show somebody a longer routine, if that kind of makes sense. So if you, for example, said, look, I've got 2 coins here, I'm going to put them over here in this purse, can you hold on to the purse? Now watch, I make this coin disappear, look in the purse, now there's 3. The focus isn't on the vanish at any point now. The focus is on where it's appeared. That's where they're going to be looking, and that is completely ordinary, and that allows you to ditch the coin. So if I were you, I'd think about routining your effects. So when you show your friends the effects, you're not showing them just a singular move, but you're showing them a progressive routine. Okay, so Stephen Murdoch says, hi Craig, thanks for the advice throughout my journey. Given the bumped Q&A, I have a couple of weeks to work on my Parlour Act. I've already resolved the finale. I've decided to axe the confabulation. My solution still employs the nesting envelope. It's completely detached from the prior routines, yet still consistent with the theme and narrative of the act. I'm going with an open prediction. On the day I announce to the show, I'll present the office manager with a red envelope. I'm going to then nest it in a couple of other envelopes, having the manager sign and seal each envelope, and finally sealed mailer envelope to be on display, never to be handed to me again. I want to share my solution with you as you're the inspiration, as you will see. At the very beginning, the keeper will place the mystery box on display where it will sit ignored and never mentioned again. I will present 2 A1 envelopes to the audience, never to be touched by me. Then, through a process of elimination with the initial equivoque of the 2 A1 envelopes, labelled 1 and 2, followed by 5 more a la your holiday special routine with Alan Wong's 2-way envelopes, as follows. Inside the A1 are 2 smaller envelopes labelled A and B, and inside each of these are 2 more, C and D, etc. Each participant opening and handling the next selection down the line to 1 final envelope consisting of 10 random words. I will have them read off the list so I can write them on a large notepad so everyone can read. They will collectively and freely select one at this point, and at this point only I'll direct their attention to the mystery box. Once again, the keeper of the box will step up on stage, open and verify each nested envelope, and to arrive at the red envelope, I'll then go into the actual nesting envelope method to reveal the single word out of 640. If my math is on the money, each A1 contains 32 unique lists of tamed words, with 320 times 2 is 640 random words. Even if my math is off, it'll still be an impressive amount nonetheless. I just need to make an index for 10 coin envelopes to attach to the back of a large notepad. I can steal out and pocket the desired word until needed to load it into the nesting envelope for the final reveal. I then offer them to freely open all of the envelopes to verify that they are all different. I know one individual that will absolutely take me up on this and go through each one if it means everyone else has left. I'm also pondering the 10 random words in the background graphic on the flyers in the mystery box. Wow, that's a lot. It sounds great. It sounds absolutely amazing. And you've solved your own problem. I mean, that sounds like a much better finale. And that sounds like a much better way of actually dealing with the situation. So yeah, I got nothing really to say about that. Thank you for, being inspired by me. I really appreciate it. And please let me know how it goes. Okay, we got one more question from Stephen Murdoch, who says, secondly, I have a more general question regarding my original query 2 weeks ago. Prediction versus process. Can they work together? What do you think are the benefits or detriments of pairing them into the same effect? Simple example for brevity's sake. A performer presents an effect of mind reading process and then reveals they already knew beforehand, prediction. I do think there are ways of presenting the combination that could not just work but complement each other, such as a surprise to the performer. Wait, what were you really thinking of? Earlier today I made a note of myself, blah 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 blah. That said, I think generally combining a prediction diminishes or confuses the process. Yeah, so what Stephen's saying there is, if I was going to, like, say for example, think of an animal, and then I went through a process of, think of an animal, it's big, isn't it? It's big, it's grey. If I went through that process and then said it's an elephant, for example, but then I showed a prediction of the elephant, does it diminish the mind reading process? And that's a great question. And the answer is, it depends on the performer, really. It very much depends on, if you're a serious mentalist, I could see how that could be an issue. But if you were so for example, I've got a routine called gossip. And with gossip, I have somebody think of a celebrity. And I have them think of a celebrity, and I go through a mind reading process, and I read their mind. And then afterwards, I show them a comedy prediction, which is baby gag, and I turn it around and I've got the correct celebrity. So that's exactly what you talked about. But my presentation of that routine is very, very comedic. I'm not taking myself very seriously. Like, I'm saying stuff that could apply to anybody. Oh, this is a man that's got muscles, stuff like that. And then when I've told them the name of the celebrity, I say, because to be honest with you, I was lying up until this point. None of this that I was saying was true. I wasn't really reading your mind. I don't need to read your mind. The reason I don't need to read your mind is because I knew exactly what you were going to do, because I actually made you think of the celebrity you thought of. Even though you felt like you had a free choice, I made you pick that celebrity. And I'm going to prove it to you, because over here from the very beginning, I've got a picture of your celebrity. Look, it's a picture, it's a baby, but it's a pic, that sort of thing, right? So it very much depends on the performer, it depends on your character, it depends on how you present your magic. But yes, I would say for a hardcore mentalist, I think you're correct. Okay, so the next question is Hungry and Hungover, who says, to the guy that asked the rock, paper, scissor question, it sounds like he was using a Pete Turner technique on the Grail. There's a whole part of the Grail dedicated to rock, paper, scissors. His version is great because you can choose to win or lose. Thank you. I appreciate that. Looking forward to the thumb tip video. Question: I recently started various metal bending, and I've seen you perform liquid metal on this channel a bunch. Do you still use it today, and would you recommend it? Maybe some performance tips and stories on it. Yes, I do. I use liquid metal an awful lot, and I love the Alakazam forks, but yes, I use liquid metal. It has been for a very long time one of my favorite routines, and I am putting a video together on metal bending at the moment. But for me, liquid metal is the best trick there is. Now, I do a little thing where I have the fork signed. I'm not the only person to do this, but at the start I have somebody sign the bowl of the fork, and I have somebody else sign the end of the fork on the other end, which means that when the thing twists together and there's a corkscrew, they can see clearly that it's actually twisted because the signatures are on the same side. The problem with the corkscrew twist is, unless you're really close in, it's very difficult to see. So if you're performing it to a group of people, it doesn't have as much of an impact as it should do, but having them sign the fork completely makes that okay. The only other performance tip I can give you is, I see a lot of people doing really big actions like this because they're trying to hide the bends. That's not how this trick should be done. It should be done with very little motion. It shouldn't look like you're trying to hide bending the fork. It should look like it's just bending, and that's where the practice comes in. You see a lot of people doing the moves and not making it look very good, when in actual fact, if you practice it properly, it can look incredible. Okay, so the next question is from Stephen Devereux, who says, Hi Craig, hope you're well. When will you be doing the mat test again? Thanks. I don't know is the answer. Look, you guys have to remember that these videos that I make are kind of my hobby. YouTube is kind of my hobby. Magic TV is kind of my hobby. My real work is running 2 entertainment agencies, and we've been a bit understaffed, a lot understaffed. And the problem is, if I do a mat test with Matt, Matt works in my office 9 till 5. And normally it's going to take about an hour to do a mat test. So if I bring him in here for an hour, and he works on the sales desk, so his job is to book in gigs. And it's the gigs that generate the income that allow me to pay the bills around here and allow me to pay my entertainers and pay my staff and so on and so forth. So if he comes in and does one video, let's say he does 3 videos a week, well, that's like 3 hours minimum, normally about 4. So that's about 4 hours. Those 4 hours there are the equivalent of about 10 gigs. Matt could easily book in 10, 12 gigs in 4 hours. So by filming the mat tests, it's having a serious negative detrimental effect on my business. And, ultimately, at the end of the day, that has to be the most important thing, because I have, so many people that rely on my business being successful. So I have to make sure that we're booking in as many shows as we possibly can. Now we're looking for ways around this, because I miss Matt being on the channel, as I'm sure everyone does. And one of the ways around it is trying to film some stuff outside of work. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm not the managing director of this company. My wife is Sarah. Here's a tip, by the way: if you're going to get married, never make your wife effectively your boss. But Sarah's the MD of this company. And she is right when she turned around to me and she says, look, we need to make sure that you can't constantly be pulling people off their various different departments to show them magic tricks while they're being paid to work and do a job, because it's just not good business. And she's right. She's absolutely right. So we're looking for ways around it. We're looking for ways to, film some stuff outside of the office, and Matt will be on the channel again, but currently he's in the room behind me, hopefully booking some parties in and some close-up jobs and some illusion shows, but we're working our way around it, and we'll let you know. Okay, so the final question today is from Splattered63, who says, hi Craig, I seem to remember you saying you were going to do a video on Extractor by Peter Nardi. I'd love to see what routines you'd come up with. I haven't seen this anywhere, so I'm assuming you haven't had time. No, I'm doing a video for the Extractor. So next time I go to Alakazam in November, I'm hopefully going to be doing a video all on the Extractor version 2 with my own routines that they can add to the project and drop into people's accounts. So yeah, I've got it all ready. I just need to get to Alakazam. I haven't been there at all this year. I've been filming a lot of their stuff remotely, but I am going in November, and I will make it happen. So there you go, guys. That's another Q&A in the bag. Thank you once again for joining me right here on Magic TV. Now, don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back this evening with a review show special. Check out all of the videos that have been up this week. Again, thank you for joining me here. And if you haven't joined the Netrix, please do so. It's my online streaming platform for magicians, and you can get access immediately by going to the Netrix.com. I'll see you again. My name's Craig, and this is Magic TV.